Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Battlecrest. This is going to be the Metronn base game, and it's going to be published by Button Shy Games, and is a 1 to 2 player game. In this game, you're going to be head-to-head against another player, and you're going to try to eliminate them to win the game. You're going to have different heroes that you can play, and maybe have some minions you can control, and you're going to be running all over this map, using your special abilities to do damage to your opponent. Let's go ahead down the table here. I'll give you a general idea how the game plays, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is Battlecrest Metronn base game. Now it is good to mention that this is the second base game, and this is compatible with the original base game. So you can have even more characters fight each other in this battle to the death. Also, I'll mention there is a solo version of this game that you can discover on your own, but also know that that is available. Also, if you were playing the base game, you'll notice that the setup is a little different than in the base game. In this setup, you're going to be making this pattern as shown. You're going to be following it in the book. The base game, the original base game, had a different pattern. This one has a straightforward pattern here, and you're going to want to keep one card length in between each of these locations. You're going to randomly set them out, and you're going to determine whoever's going to be the first player. So in this game, you could be two different heroes. You can be this Caladios, I don't know if I said that correctly, or you can be this Exa. Now this Exa and Caladios both have their own little set of cards here. Each character is going to have 6 cards. And the Caladios here, it has its hero card. This shows you a little bit of text about it. So it gives you a little flavor text about the character. And it shows you what abilities they have. Like this is a Master Hero, Unbroken Resolve, and Cursed Corruption. Now for his other cards here to make up his 6, you're going to have the health indicator here. And you're going to use this health indicator to show where you're going to put your card abilities here, and this is going to be your health track throughout the game. And as you take damage, you'll be moving this health track down, and once you get to the last damage here where it says you flip, you'll flip this over, and then if you make it all the way to the skull there, you're going to lose the game. So this character is going to have 3 different double-sided actions that you can have in the game itself. So this one here is going to be Vile Adaptation. You're going to see these stars in the game here, which we'll go over in a little bit, and then you have these little actions that you can take in the game. And they have a flip side here too. You'll notice in the little corner here, it'll say start. This is the start side. So on this side, this would be the start side, and this will be the start side on this. These will flip when they get used. Also, they can be exhausted, and you can use these cool abilities on here to pump up other things, which I'll show you in a little bit. But this character also has an item here, so it has this Wraithlock item. This one will let you, if you can have a location that gives you a star, you can heal, and then you can flip this over, and this one gives you attack 2 at any range, and you can flip it back over. So you have a good item on there. Now, the other things you'll have on here is you're going to have this March ability here for Inspired Charge. You can move around the board a little better. This is an attack ability, and this is an attack ability. So this character has a lot of attack on it. Now with Exa here, you'll have the same heart chart here, and you have these 3 different items. This one allows you to march, this one allows you to attack, and this one here allows you to heal, which should be on the start side of each of these actually. On the opposite side. So this one here is more of like a well-rounded character on there. Also, the character has a minion that you can use throughout the game. Now, minions here can be eliminated. They have health and defense on here. They have these really cool abilities that they can use. And then when you flip them over when they get damaged, and this is their last chance for survival. And they have different abilities on here. And once that gets taken out, they're out of the game there. Now, here's the main character here. This is Exa here. This one Has a lot of really good attacks to it, sort of like Mega Man, and it has a nuclear core, destructive behavior, and glitchy trigger. And then there's a little flavor text about that character. All right, so that is the general setup that you're going to do for this game here. Once you have that all ready, you're ready to go ahead and start the game. You're going to pick a starting player, and whoever's the starting player is going to take a look at the two locations in the left and right hand corner here. And whoever the start player is, they're going to go and set their hero by the highest number here. So the hero will be diagonal to the building here. And if they had a minion, it would go right here. And the second player will go with the lowest number building up here, and they'll put their hero there and minion there. And now the setup is done, and we're ready to get into the game itself. All right, so players are each going to take turns until one player has been defeated. Each player's turn, the active player will choose two different player actions and perform them one at a time in any order. Each player's action must change the game state in some way, such as moving a warrior to a new location, damaging a warrior, or changing action cards or landmark card states. Now, these are the different actions that you can take in the game. You can move, activate, prime, and refocus. Now, move one or more of your warriors one at a time up to their movement value. A hero movement value is the sum of the movement of all their active action cards. A minion's movement is listed on the minion's card. So now so the sum here is going to be, I can move. So let's say we're going to do this character first because they were the first player. We're going to take a look, and this is a non-exhausted card. So the movement here is going to be 2, 2, 2. So we have 6. Now if I exhausted this card to use it for its prime the card to use it for its ability here, I wouldn't have that available for movement. So right now I have up to 6 movement. Now you can only move orthogonally in the game here. So I can move here, here, here. I always have to be adjacent to a card. Now one thing worth mentioning as you're moving throughout the game is they have these shortcuts on all these buildings here. So if I started and I went here, I could use this shortcut to immediately jump here and save a little bit of movement. So these shortcuts are pretty cool. But you're going to have to end your movement not on top of another character, and you can't go through a building other than these shortcuts. So you have to end your movement adjacent to a building. All right, so for my movement, let's say I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll end my movement here at 6. I'll end my movement. Actually, you know what? I'll show you. I'll end my movement here. Now, I ended my movement, and I'm actually adjacent to one of these. And once we use these abilities, you can use these abilities to pump up your attacks or different things. Once you use these cards will flip, and then the other side will be available. Notice how this ability is no longer available there, but you have some other things, and you end up on here, you're going to get damage. So that was movement. The other thing you do is activate. All right, so I have the activate option. I can choose one of my active action cards, exhaust it, and use that as ability. So here I could exhaust this card and use this ability here. So this is attack 1 plus all the symbols here that I have that can match this will bump my symbol, and then I also have a range of 4. So this is a range attack, which means I could have 1, 2, 3, 4 distance between them. Now if I would have moved up more here, then I'm actually in range of that, and I can do the damage. And when I do the damage here, I'm going to look at the shield here, and if I exceed the shield, I can actually do damage to the target here. Now if it is this guy, which is a minion, and I deal damage, it's going to flip over to the other side, and if I deal damage again, it's destroyed. Dealing damage to a hero is a little different. When you deal damage to a hero, you're going to move this card down the amount of damage here, and like I said, when you do enough damage till you get to this point right here, you flip the card over, and if you go all the way to the end here, the character will die. The other thing I can do is prime. I can choose one of my active action cards and exhaust it without using any of the card's abilities. So I could use the card's ability, but I'll leave this crest available here, so I'll turn it aside to pump up other actions in the game. The other thing is I can refocus. I can flip all of your exhausted action cards to its opposite side. then make those cards active, returning them to their vertical orientation. So let's say I've used all these guys here. I can then refocus, so it'll flip it to the other side here, and in this case, more powerful side, and those will be available for me in future turns. And that's actually it. That's going to be how you're going to be playing Battlecrest. You're going to be moving through these different locations and doing these different actions. Remember the golden rule that you have to change the board state in some way on your turn. You had those 4 different actions you can pick from, and you're going to be able to choose 2 of them on your turn. And they have to be different actions. You can't move and then move. So you can move, you can activate, you can prime, you can refocus. Activation is going to be the main way that you're going to be dealing damage. But you can also look at your character card here, and if you get beside a star, so like here, star attack 3 here, you can do different here. Star here, you can heal 1, so that's super helpful. But in the end, the goal is going to be to destroy your opponent. Now, these are going to be the 2 new heroes that you get in this set here. And like I said, you can play with the base game on there, and there's expansions, and you can have all different mix and matches of heroes to combat in the different arenas that you have going. You have this setup, and then the base game has a different setup. It has this diagonal setup here, and the cards across from each other, so it's a sort of a different sort of map that you're going to be going through. But these locations, like I said, are really important. Remember that once you use those locations for powering yourself up or different abilities, you're going to flip them over to their other side. And like when I use this one, I'll flip it back over. So these being adjacent to specific locations in the right place is really important, so that's very strategic. But let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Battlecrest. All right, so that was Battlecrest, and it's going to be the Metronn base game. This base game gave you 2 more heroes to play with. They're both have a different feel from each other and a different feel from all the other heroes that are available in the Battlecrest system. Now, the replayability on this is pretty good. You have these 2 heroes. You're going to go back and forth for a while, but you're going to get a lot more replayability from getting the other base game to get the other heroes and have all those different combinations you can. And I'm sure they're going to come out with more expansions with more heroes that you can play with in this game. And you're going to have those from the 2 different battlefields. You have different configurations on there, so you can get a different feel in both of those games, and you have different characters in both of those games too, which can lead to a whole bunch of different types of matches that can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun too to just really learn one of them and that be your favorite. This is a great game just to pull out and play head-to-head to someone just anywhere, because it's highly portable. So if you're waiting at a bus stop, or you're at a restaurant, or whatever you're doing, this could be a game that you play real quick while you're writing and have a lot of fun. Now, there is a solo version to this game, and I do like a lot of the button shy solo version games. This one was okay. I really think this game actually shines with playing with 2 players. I think this is where it is 100% the best, is with 2 players. Now, it's not saying the solo version of this game is not good. It's fine, but there are many, many, many button shy games out there that are really great solo player games, like Rove, that are much better with the solo element on there, where this one is really a head-to-head game, really meant to be a head-to-head game, and really is best a head-to-head game. So if you're looking for a really highly portable, really fun, really quick 2-player skirmish game, this game I highly recommend. It's just going to be a lot of fun. I do recommend also getting the other base game, and if they come out with more expansions, definitely pick those up if you like the game, because the more heroes that you have to fight, the more variety you have in the game, more replayability in the game, and the more fun you'll have too. So that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.